So the Spirit of Rugby programme was first launched in September 2017. It's primarily an education programme and an information programme around the values of the game. Its primary aim is to educate players to make informed decisions on and off the pitch, and in recognising that working with players, we're also working with at age grade with coaches and parents. So we did a series of workshops around the country and we identified some key issues in relation to youth sport, coaching behaviours, sideline behaviour, and from that we've identified a couple of issues that we're going to address at today's Spirit of Rugby conference.
If we don't keep them healthy and do the sport in an appropriate way, we load them too much, we overtrain them, then we don't get all the things we talked about today. No one has fun when they're unwell or sick. No one has fun in things that they don't enjoy. So there's both sides to it. The sport keeps them fit and healthy, but we must do it in a way in which they'll enjoy it, and they'll enjoy it if they're healthy doing it.
So I want to start with a little story.
I'm super excited to be speaking today to the IRFU at the Spirit of Rugby conference about creating a player-centered environment. So how can we take rugby and take it from being a transactional experience to a transformational experience, not just for the athletes, but for the parents and the families and the coaches as well.
The focus of winning the game or the next match, or if he's dropped or if she's dropped, that's the small picture. The big picture, I think the very loud word that has been mentioned throughout this morning has been fun and participation.
I suppose my role here today is looking at really thinking about the impact of sport on mental health and the other way around as well. And I suppose the initial reaction to people is that, and they're quite right, is that physical activity and sport contributes positively to people's mental health. But I suppose there's challenges within that, and really looking at the more complex relationships between, say, young people and their involvement with sport, and how that links in with their own ambitions, their own mental health, and also the impact of pressure that can be on around achievement, success, and all of that. But on the other hand, failure coming with, loss of peer relationships, isolation, and sometimes loss of skill and loss of place within their peer group, and the impact of that on their mental health.
Huge research study done in 2014 between UCD and Headstrong. What the kids need, they need one good adult, and in many cases it's been you. In many cases,
my role here today is to talk about the role of the coach in developing a player-centred environment. And I'm going to focus on three key points. The first one being how the coach is the leader, and how the coach behaves and acts within the group is usually more powerful than what they say. Secondly, being a leader and coach will mean having to sometimes disappoint people, will mean sometimes having to deal with issues that sometimes individual players would rather not deal with. We look at the skills for that. And finally, making sure that the coach looks after their own needs and models effective self-care as well as their overall leadership.
And so I think when we think about sport, right, and when we think about age grade sport and youth sport, too often it's a transactional experience. It's about performance, it's about action, whereas a transformational experience is about the person.
My key message is players first. When we want to make the experience transformational, we have to look at the needs and the values and the priorities of the children playing, and not necessarily the adults coaching or watching. We do that by first getting to know what they want and what they need, and then really asking ourselves three questions. Why do I coach? Why am I here? Why do I coach the way that I coach? How does it feel to be coached by me?
Respect and encouragement, positive role model, clear communication, know what you're talking about, be a good listener. These are all themes that we've heard today over and over and over, and this is transformational coaching. This is what we have to start bringing to the game.